Hi, I'm Miss Cindy, and welcome back to another edition of our virtual JumpstART program. So it is August, and we are celebrating the dog days of summer. So we are going to make this little springy dog today. So he folds, so he stands. What you're going to need is some construction paper, any colors that you have. White is just fine too, or you could make him really colorful. I just kind of went with blacks and browns and tans for mine. If you picked up a bag from the art center, you should have gotten some long white paper and some accessories to help you make your little springy dog. Some other things that you're going to need is glue, and you're going to need some crayons or markers. Googlas, of course, are always fun, and these are in your bag if you picked up a bag from the art center. So you can use regular glue or a glue stick. It's up to you. We will also be needing some watercolors, any kind that you have. Markers will work too. Some water for your watercolors, any size paintbrush that you have on hand, and some salt and some other paper. So we have two quick dog projects to celebrate our dog days of summer. So we'll get started with our springy dog first. So what we want to do first is you should have gotten, or it's also downloadable on our website, is a template of the different pieces and parts of the dog. So there's a couple of different sizes for the heads and the ears and the feet. I didn't include one for the tail because I bet you can come up with all sorts of tails for your dog. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut those out, which I've already done. So I cut out this round one for today. Once you have your template, you'll put it on any paper that you want. So say you want the brown, you're just going to place it. Of course, I already put a face on mine. So you're just going to place it on your paper. You're going to take a pencil and you're going to trace around. Then you're going to take your scissors, which I forgot to mention you will need, and you're going to cut the pieces and parts out. So when you're finished, you should have a head. You should have some ears and some feet. So you're going to cut out two. You're going to trace 2 ears and 2 feet. So once you have all of those cut out, then you're ready to start. The white piece of paper that you received, or any white piece of paper that you have, or colored you can use any paper, but you're going to take a strip of it. The long paper works well because it gives our dog a little bit more of a spring and a little bit better chance of standing up on his own. So that's why I went with a longer paper. But if you don't have it, this will work too. So you're going to cut about a 4-inch strip, just a straight strip. Doesn't have to be exactly 4 inches. I kind of eyeballed it, and I cut a strip of paper. And then what you want to do now before you start folding is you might want to add some color. Do you want your dog to have spots? Because I'm thinking that this one might have some spots. Maybe he's a Dalmatian, or he just has some freckles. So I'm going to add some spots to my dog with my crayon. Marker works just fine here too. You could even do some painting if you want. With the paint, you could make your paper, you could use a brush and do quick strokes and make him look like he has hair and add some texture to him. You could get really fancy with this project. We're going to keep it simple for now, but you do you and make your own dog. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start folding. So you want to fold kind of an even square. So I'm going to fold, what I've done here is I'm going to fold against here and make my square. And then, so there's one. So it's like an accordion fold. You're going to make another one. Then you're going to take that back part and flip it up, fold along there. Now I'm going to take that end part, I'm going to just trim it off because so I don't really need that part. So now you have the spring, so it stands on its own. So this is where you're going to add the head to this part, and the feet are going to be glued down here, and the tail is going to be here on the end sticking up. So I'll show you this. So this is where his head and his feet are, and then he's got his tail sticking up on that last part. So I made mine kind of like a little pug tail because I have a pug, so that's what I did there. So next I'm going to take the head. This is my head. So I need to add a face. So if you have markers, you can do markers, or you can do crayons. It's completely up to you. I think I'll glue my ears on first. So I lost one of my ears. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a little glue onto your head part, and I'm going to little glue right onto, I think I'll make it go down. So this is where you get to pick and choose. So I'm going to make my ears go down on this guy. You could make one go up and one go down. I'm going to make them both go down. So here's what I have going on. So I've cut out my ears and I've glued them on here. Now I'm going to add some eyes. Googly eyes, of course. But if you don't have googly eyes, you would just draw your eyes on now. So I've got my eyes on there. Next, he's going to need a little nose and a mouth, and don't forget his whiskers. So I think I might use a marker for some of this, because I'm going to add a little tongue to his mouth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add his little nose. The nose is just kind of an oval shape, nothing fancy. And then two lines coming down. So here's what I've got going on. And then we need to add his whiskers. And we're going to add a little tongue, because it's hot and he's panting, right? Now you can get as fancy as you want. You could give him freckles. You could make him have a little circle around his eye. But I'm gonna stop right there for now, and I'm gonna glue him on to this part. So my glue kind of takes a bit to set up, so he might slide a little bit while I'm doing this, but yours you can leave flat until you're finished. So I'm going to take my feet, and I cut out the little feet, but you can do either one. Take the feet, I'm going to glue them on. Now you can bend them. You can also bend the ears. So I'm going to bend the feet a little bit so they're kind of sticking up a little bit. So I hope you can see that. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to add the tail. So I just cut a curve out of my paper. So any shape or size that you want, because as you know, dogs have all sorts of different size tails. So you could really have fun, and some don't have a tail at all. So that is up to you. So we have our little dog with his little tail, and he's got spots, so he's a Dalmatian. And that is our little springy dog. So our next dog, if you were around in July when we did the salt paintings, that's what we're going to do again. So super fun. What you do is I'm just going to tell you how it's done because I have a finished product right here and he still has lots of salt on him. So what you're going to do, it's in celebration of an artist named Miro. He's a Spanish artist and he's a modern artist. And kind of a fun shape. So I had this sheet that I got from a coloring book, and this is one of his paintings. It's really bright and colorful, but this is his dog. I just did the black and white because I wanted the shape of the dog. You can also find this online in a PDF. But I took the shape of his dog and I just did a drawing on a white piece of paper in pencil, to try to be as close to that dog as I could. So really, you can draw any kind of dog. It's just fun shapes, very loose and fun and flowy and curly. And this is a fun project for the salt painting. So what you'll do is you'll do your pencil drawing, then you'll put it down, you'll take your glue, and you'll follow all along your pencil lines with the glue. And when you're finished with that, you'll take your salt and you'll sprinkle the salt right into the glue so it'll fill up that glue and it'll stand off the page and it becomes a little dimensional. So you do that. You sprinkle your salt into the glue. Now you're going to let that dry. So just a little bit, let it set up a little bit, and then you'll take a brush and a cup of water and your watercolor. So say I'm going to take red. Just get some red on your brush, and once your glue and salt have dried just a little bit, go back in, and what you'll do is you'll just add touches. And it'll add some color to that thick salty line, and you'll get something just like this. And it is kind of messy, but it's just salt, so it cleans up really easy. So have fun playing with the salt, have fun making your little dogs with the springy paper, and have a great August. Come back and see us.